Hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news. I'm your host, Auntie Derek, and with me I have my lovely co-host, I Chill. Hey, boo.
Hey boo, on hump day.
Oh, it is Hump Day indeed on July 23rd, and I guess we could just go ahead and jump right into the tea.
Let's get it. Tea time.
Yes. So our first piece of tea. So I know y'all have seen a lot of discourse about the episode of Basketball Wives that just aired recently, and I have to say this is probably the most that anybody has talked about Basketball Wives in a very long time because
Hmm.
the show's ratings were kind of dwindling. But
They
anyway, there was an incident where there was a mother and daughter, Jackie Christie and her daughter Chantel. They exchanged some words, and long story short, Jackie slapped the shit out of Chantel. I mean the girl face turned. So there was some discourse. Some people feel that it was justified. A lot of people felt that it was over the top. But Chantel actually she released her own statement, so she's speaking out about it. And let's see what she has to say. So I was able to grab this tweet, shared by Jay's reality because my internet is acting bootleg. Oh wait, I may have to reshare this. Give me 1 second. I noticed it wasn't sharing.
okay. Here it comes.
Any day now.
It's up there.
Oh, so you do see the tweet because it looks
I
blank to
I
me.
see it. Yeah, I see it. You can't see it though.
Okay. So okay, now my laptop just blacked out. Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties with my bootleg laptop. Okay, here we go. Okay. So she starts off by saying, I'm going to read the because it's in two parts. The first quote says, hurry up, damn it. Okay. I'll start by saying if you've never dealt with a toxic mother, then you truly have no idea what it feels like. As painful as it's been to watch these moments of my life play out on TV, I know my younger self is proud of the woman who finally stood up for herself. The truth is, this dynamic isn't rare. It happens in more families than we like to admit. Narcissism, jealousy, lies, lack of accountability, gaslighting, abuse, hiding assault, etc. We're just taught to keep it in house and suffer in silence. I chose to break that cycle. What you witnessed was a masterclass in narcissism, someone lighting the fire behind the scenes, then walking away so you look like the arsonist. I know what really happened on and off camera all season long. So, no, the internet cannot bully me into submission. Y'all know the TV character, I know the mother. She touched my arm, I pushed her off me, she swung. Plain and simple. It's unfortunate things played out this way, and I wish it never happened, but if you knew our history, then you know this was a long time coming. She's certainly right about that last part there. So the other part of the statement, let's go to the next photo. I may not be proud of all my choices this season, but I'm also not ashamed. This is my real life, and I doubt anyone judging me lives a perfect one. I see the hate mail, I see the judgment, but I also see all the messages that say, I've dealt with this too. This reminds me so much of my situation. To those of you with heart and understanding, I see you, and I appreciate your vulnerability. To those who've met me with threats, vile statements, and extreme judgment, may you never understand my plight. Celebrating my darkest moments says more about you than it ever will about me. I've always been misunderstood, and this chapter of my life is no different. But I will answer to God, not imperfect strangers who've never walked a step in my shoes. I will keep my head up and my peace in focus as I continue to grow as a mother, a wife, and a woman. Okay, Shawnee. Well, she says that.
What I really hate about
So,
the whole situation is that the photo of her being slapped is going to live on this platform forever. People have been
yep,
using that meme over and over, and it's never going to die. And I really hate that for both of them.
yep, poor baby has been memeified.
Yeah,
I just find it well, and I know these aren't, reality stars aren't considered A-list celebrities for the most part, but I just find it odd that a lot of these girls they choose to release their own statements rather than like through a publicist. So it's but hey, I'm glad she's speaking her truth. And I think, for in fairness, a lot of us of millennial age, we are big about breaking cycles. So I'm not surprised. This is a really complex situation. So
it
yeah,
is.
the only person that got to go through it is her and her mama. So
And it's been years in the making, things that we don't have any idea about, you know, from when they were children. But obviously, there's something that's been going on in this family for years, years. And this is just sort of the
mhm.
culmination of it all. I just hate it's public. It just, it should not be fodder for consumption by the public. It just shouldn't.
I concur, but the other half of me who loves mess be like, bring
Yeah,
it all to me. I want to see it all.
I know, but this is not scripted, miss. You know the things that they
Yeah.
do normally. You know, the cussing each other out, and oh, y'all got to make it seem like y'all fighting, and that kind of stuff. Okay, but when it's real like this, I don't like this.
Yeah, I hear you. I know these producers because, like I said, this is the most that anybody has talked about Basketball Wives in a very long time. So I know they are. I know those producers are just. They probably having them a good old drink right now.
Yeah, vultures.
Hmm.
That just it sounds terrible on the face of it. That they're enjoying this extra publicity, and maybe it has drawn back some viewers who've left, and I'm disgusted.
Well, shout out to the fans who stayed by even when it was born. Me and probably like the other 20 of us who kept tweeting about it. but but it really people really left that show for dead. But me, because I feel like I've been in it this long, so might as well just see what and ain't shit else on TV to watch. So might as well just watch these girls act a fool and do the same shit that they've been doing for 10 other seasons in different cities. And I even had a nerve to watch the when they brought the new girls on the Basketball Wives Orlando. That was actually pretty good, but they only gave them one season. I actually was hoping they would come back for another one, but
Yeah, they
hey,
only
what
got
do I
one
know?
season. What happened with them?
Yeah. And those girls, it was just kind of interesting because the basketball wives, the regular girls, those are like I want to say maybe like in the 30s, 40s, 50s. Those are older girls. The
Right.
Orlando girls were much, much younger. They were like 19, 20 stuff. So it was just really interesting to see, like how the 20 like your old basketball wives kind of navigate through life. I just found it to be very interesting. And I thought it was we have a because it was not fun. Oh, because it was not.
And a few of them were actually still basketball wives, as opposed to most of the other girls, other than what
Hmm.
Jackie is still married. But some of those younger girls were still wives, weren't they?
Yep. Yep. It was not all of them, but it was a couple of them that they were actually married. And,
Yeah.
Megan, I forget her last name, but Megan, who was on the Basketball Wives LA, and then she was previously on Bad Girls Clubs. She was on that. She was like one of the girls that was on there, and it was one scene I would never forget. That shit had me hollering because it Ashley Snell. She was one of the girls who's married. She actually had braids in her hair, and Megan was like, I don't appreciate the cultural appropriation of it all. So Ashley was like, "Well, what are you talking about, cultural appropriation?" She was like, "Well, why you got braids in your hair?" Ashley was like, "Are you trying to say I'm not black?" And then, because she's light skinned, and Megan said, "Well, are you?" Ashley said, "Yes," and Megan was like, "Oh, girl, my bad." I was screaming.
Oh,
So that had nothing to do with nothing. I just but Basketball Wives Orlando was funny sometimes. Well, does anybody want to add anything else about to any Basketball Wives before we go to the next story? Well, speaking of another vulture, let me share my screen. Diddy, I have this hot new hip hop article, and y'all should see where it says here. Diddy fires back at I'm sorry, NBC fires back at Diddy's $100 million defamation lawsuit over scathing documentary. Child. NBC, along with Peacock TV and Ample Entertainment, has filed a motion to dismiss Diddy's defamation lawsuit over the documentary Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. According to All Hip Hop, the media company argues they did not defame him, nor did they cause new damage to his public image. In turn, they are asking a judge to throw out his $100 million case. Diddy originally filed the lawsuit back in February, accusing NBC of falsely, recklessly, and maliciously presenting him as an alleged serial murderer and sex trafficker. Featuring interviews with Albie Shore, Rodney Jones, and more, the documentary touches on the deaths of Kim Porter and the notorious B.I.G. Diddy's team says it insinuates false rumors allegedly linking him to both cases. Diddy's attorney, Erica Wolf, said in a statement to Variety, grossly exploiting the trust of their audience and racing to outdo their competition for the most salacious Diddy expose. Defendants maliciously and recklessly broadcast outrageous lies in Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy. In the purported documentary, defendants accused Mr. Combs of horrible crimes, including serial murder and sexual assault of minors, knowing that there is no evidence to support them. In making and broadcasting these falsehoods, among others, defendants seek to only capitalize on the public's appetite for scandal without any regard for the truth at the expense of Mr. Combs' right to a fair trial. Mr. Combs brings this lawsuit to hold defendants accountable for the extraordinary damage their reckless statements have caused. So, then it continues like when is Diddy's sentencing? We know that that's going to be in October, so I don't think we need to really read the rest of that. But yeah, they said they didn't defame him. Shit, we were just reporting shit that was already out there. But when you did see the documentary though, it did kind of they did insinuate that Diddy may have had something to do with Albie Shore being being put in a coma, something to do like they didn't say they said it without saying it because I watched the documentary. So so to
well,
be fair, they did do that.
they did mention it. They didn't accuse him directly, but you know, they just
Mhm.
reported what they heard, what had been said, what had happened was
Mhm. Kind of like how I say, we not the news, we just read it.
right.
So,
Hey, Hammy.
hey, one of my favorite Libras. Let's see. I'm gonna give it to about maybe 3 minutes before he puts something in the comments that's gonna drag me.
That long?
Right. Well, does anybody want to add anything about Diddy or this documentary before we go to the next story?
Hmm. Yeah. Maybe he needs to recoup some money because there's still more lawsuits coming for him, I believe.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, our next story, Waka Flocka Flame, honey.
Oh,
Cutting a fool in New York.
like a fool.
Exactly. What was the name I gave him? Was it Waka Swastika Flame? I think
That'll work. I'll
with his
allow it.
ass. Anyway, I have this article here from Vibe, and it tells us why did Waka Flocka Flame get removed from a New York club?
Mm.
So Waka Flocka Flame and his entourage got caught up in drama this past weekend in New York. The Riverdale, Georgia rapper and his crew were removed from a club in Montauk, New York after a brush up with security. Before I continue, I just want to remind the listeners, those who don't know about Long Island, Montauk is in Long Island. It's predominantly white. So I'm sure that the club he went to was probably a white, mostly white crowd. But anyway, Walker had a performance at Bounce Beach Club on Saturday evening, July 19th, and was invited to Surf Lodge the following day by the venue's owner. Page Six reported that the Hard in the Paint rapper and his 13 associates attempted to enter Surf Lodge through a side entrance while fire marshals tried to control a crowd of fans at the main entrance. Allegedly, a security guard told Flocka that he and his friends could not enter, which infuriated the 39-year-old rapper. Page Six reports he berated the guard, telling him, "Go fuck yourself, you're a dick," and allegedly said fuck 1,000 times. Another security guard reportedly stepped in, and one of Walker's associates told him, "Your size doesn't intimidate us." His size is the one that intimidates somebody. Ooh, honey, look at, girl. Anyway,
Damn, he blowing up.
exactly. Just like they head. Despite the jaw jacking, the Surf Lodge owner was willing to let Flocka and his crew inside. The managers tried to reason with them and explain that the security guards were simply doing their jobs, but they weren't in a state to be reasoned with, and confronted the security guards again. One of his crew members reportedly yelled a homophobic slur amid all the tension. Even with all that, the Surf Lodge staff continued to try to work with Flocka, but there was reportedly no change in his mood as he said, "I'm worth 20 million. Do you know who I am?" The staff finally recognized that the situation could not be rectified and asked the legendary rapper to leave. Oh, they were very generous with the legendary rapper, but okay. The whole thing happened quickly under 3 minutes, a source told Page Six. Musically, Flocka has been somewhat active in 2025. He's released his latest single, Charizard, in April, that didn't nobody listen to, in addition to appearing on Nino Cahoots' Hooked and Propa's Grove Street Party, a flip of his 2011 record. And they have a link where a clip where you can ain't nobody listen to that shit. That shit is terrible. He could have left that alone. Anyway, stupid. Stupid. They tried to get work with your ass to get you in the club, but you still want to be an asshole. Stupid.
I hate that. Do you know who I am? I hate that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we don't care.
Child. Anyway, does anybody want to add anything about Walker Swastika Flame before we go to the next story?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Well, this next story, y'all, word on the curb, yes, you are Tammy's old work. Gag it.
That's who you is.
Gag it, honey. Well, this next story, honey, people are the word on the curb. They saying that Beyonce and Jay-Z might be the finances might be dwindling, honey.
Dwindling.
Dwindling, honey. And let me get this link here. So I
How?
have this all hip hop link that should be popping up soon. Okay, here we go. So y'all see where it says here, Jay-Z and Beyonce hit with broke claims over massive home loan. So Jay-Z and Beyonce reportedly just signed off on a fresh $57.75 million mortgage for their lavish Bel Air estate. And the internet didn't waste a second before dragging them into a debate about whether the billionaire couple is strapped for cash or just playing chess with their finances. Personally, I think it might be the latter, but then again, I'm not a bitch with money, so what do I know? But anyway, the new 30-year-old loan tied to their $88 million hilltop mansion in Los Angeles brings their total mortgage on the property to around $110.55 million, according to the Daily Mail. The pair originally brought the 30,000 square foot home in 2017 and already had a $52.8 million mortgage through Goldman Sachs. While the financial analysts suggest the move is likely a strategic refinancing to free up capital, possibly for other investments or ventures. Some Nicki Minaj fans saw it as an opening to throw shade, especially after her recent attacks on Jay Z and Rock Nation. And you see how the comment here, it seems like Jay took out two loans for their Bel Air mansion. Curious, a lot of people had a lot to say when another female rapper had a loan out from 2019. I guess it explains why touring has been happening more frequently. So you see here, one Nicki aligned account posted, Nicki is broke and touring for free, quote unquote, for taking out a loan. But when Jay Z and Beyonce do it, they're strategic and money smart. Another time, then, so Jay Z and Beyonce are broke now. No wonder Jay Z stole Nicki Minaj's money and Beyonce is touring so often. But not everyone was buying into the narrative that the Carters are hurting financially. One user fired back, y'all are eating up this nonsense that Beyonce and Jay Z are broke. I know y'all struggle to read, but the same article mentioned they bought a $200 million home last year and paid cash. These fake financial hot takes and think pieces about a couple worth billions is insane. The Malibu property reference was purchased in 2023, reported and is one of the most expensive residential real estate deals in California history. Beyond music, the couple's net worth is estimated to be between 3 and 4 billion. In addition to Jay Z's Rock Nation and Beyonce's Parkwood Entertainment companies, their portfolio includes stakes in companies including Uber and Douce, plus a multi-million dollar art collection. Mm-mm. So, long story short, no, they are not broke.
And Jay Z just invested in some jewelry company, GVD or something like that, that makes those big chains and pendants and
Yeah,
things like that. And she killing it with Secret and the whiskey. And there's no comparison. You see how many outfits this girl got for her too? Like, come on. Which she supplies with her own money. The music company's not buying all that. Her props and outfits, all of that, she's financing. Yeah, I, you know, back to what we were talking about before the recording started, how people just spew the meanness and hatred and just living room warriors.
agreed. Yeah, I just, hey, I don't get the. Well, I guess anything that if you're a Nicki Minaj fan, I guess that requires like undying loyalty. So anything that's gonna make this woman look right even a little bit, they're gonna jump right on it. So,
Undying stupidity, you mean?
ooh, touche.
Nothing wrong with, you know,
Well,
liking
does
your
anybody want
favorite,
to add? Oh,
you know,
sorry.
nothing wrong with having a favorite entertainer, but being stupid and just to support them is it's not it's not a flex.
I agree. Well, that actually brings us to a good segue to because one of my favorite people, Laverne Cox, she's actually come out. It's actually some things that have come out about her that look very problematic, and it's like, girl, what are you doing?
I saw that. Oh my God.
So I have this link from Vibe that pretty much sums up everything, but I would say I was certainly one of the people that was disappointed in her as well, because it's like, okay, girl, you old enough to know better, ma'am. What are you doing? But that should be popping up soon. Oh, we have a comment. Fuck her MAGA loving ass, and they're not being facetious. MAGA loving is absolutely correct because that's exactly what the fuck she was doing. Silly ass, silly goose. These people want you dead, girl. Like, are you kidding me? Anyway, so says Laverne Cox responds to backlash for dating MAGA Republican. People are still human beings, is what she said. So Laverne Clark sparked much conversation on Instagram this week after revealing a chapter from her dating history that many did not expect. In a clip posted Monday night, July 21st, the Orange is the New Black star and longtime activist shared that she was once in a serious, years long relationship with a blonde haired, blue eyed MAGA Republican voter who also happened to be a New York City police officer, honey. Girl. Oh, child. Promoting her upcoming one woman show. Girl, how did I get here? I have an idea. Anyway, girl, how did I get here set for July 28th at NYC's City Winery? Cox opened up about the former relationship, calling it a love story that shocked even her. We were madly in love, she said. I did not develop any of his politics. I still have my own. Stupid. The clip quickly went around. The clip quickly went viral, and comments poured in, with many expressing confusion and concern over how the openly trans, pro-black progressive actress could fall for someone on the ideological opposite of the spectrum. And this is a quick clip of her talking about that stupid motherfucker.
And that stupid ass wig.
My ex-boyfriend, when we met 5 years ago at the height of the pandemic, he was 26, I was 48. He is blonde hair, blue eyed, MAGA Republican voter who is a New York City police officer. We were madly in love. I did not develop any of these politics. I still have my own. Yeah. My ex boyfriend was 22 years younger than me, hot MAGA Republican New York City police officer. Yeah. To hear more about that, come to my show at City Winery in New York City, July 28th. It's a Monday, show time 8 p.m.
Oh, child. But y'all are killing me with these comments. It says she looks unwell in that clip. And then that's why that whack ass show flopped. Y'all are hilarious. Well, Cox returned to Instagram later that night to elaborate in a live video. And child, and the shit was about an hour long, but clarifying that she didn't know her partner's political views or profession when they matched on Tinder. We were just chatting, she said. He told me that he did something else. By the time she found out the truth, they were already deeply involved. Cox said she decided to try to build a relationship based on shared humanity, not politics. I wanted to see if it were possible to have a relationship with someone with different political beliefs. In theory, she explained. I fell in love with a human being who had different politics. And the good things about that relationship were so good that I was willing to work with the politics I didn't agree with. The 4-year relationship, which she previously described as healing, ended when it became clear that their values were ultimately unaligned. Lines had to be drawn, she said. I had to set boundaries. You think? Silly. Cox also addressed the backlash that immediately followed her reveal, pushing back against those who accused her of aligning with fascist ideology or MAGA politics. I'm not going to hate people. I don't believe in that, she said. We have to fight the fascists. We have to fight the fascist regime. But as we do that, I hope that we're not dehumanizing people with different beliefs the way they're dehumanizing us. She also cited Audre Lorde's famous quote, "The master's tools will never dismantle the master's house," as a reminder of how easy it is to become what we're fighting against. Girl, don't you use no Audre Lorde for that bullshit. Anyway, that's what I was seeing in the comics, Cox noted, and I would invite us to critically interrogate that. People are still human beings. And this is that hour long response to her ass in that bad wig. Not everyone online wanted to hear that, including me. But others came to her defense. Actor and activist India Moore commented in support, calling the Palawan cruel. She can shut up, excuse me, they can shut up too. The complexities and nuances that exist in relationships between people do matter, Moore wrote. If we believe this is a dangerous situation our focus should be on her safety, not shaming her as some kind of bad example for our community. Despite the chaos online, Cox stood firm. And for those who still have questions, she encouraged them to hear the full story when she tells it on stage later this month. And then again, that's that hour long girl. Bye. I really have nothing because I mean it's there's really not much I can say without sounding harsh, cause it's like, "Bitch, you dumb bitch. You're old enough to know better, first of all." And then for now, I can see I almost would excuse the bitch if she was in her 20s. But no, bitch, you were 48 when you met this little boy, by the way, who was in his early 20s, a MAGA. You were 48 years old, so you were old enough to fucking know better. I'm not excusing you. I'm not excusing that bullshit. And it's this was at the height of MAGA baby in 2020. Because she said it was around they met around the pandemic. So, bitch, get out my face, please.
And
But she was
does not dehumanizing them mean you got to have a relationship with them? No, it doesn't mean that. Yes, they are human, but uh, that's that's not a good reason for having a 4 year relationship. And ultimately, your values didn't align. Your values never fucking align. So
and they
took
never
you four
will.
years, yeah, 4 years to figure that out, girl.
Look, we have a comment, but she was getting 20 something 20 something year old dick. That self hate is real, and she hoped to fuck the MAGA out of him. Yeah, I think that's exactly what she was hoping to. She thought her pussy was good enough for something like that to happen, but it's not, girl. These people hate you, and you were his sex toy for 4 years, honey.
Mm-hmm.
And probably I don't want to I don't want to assume anything, but probably was his cash cow. Probably was paying for that 20 something year old MAGA dick, quiet as it's kept. If it didn't keep him from COVID, the coochie won't stop hate either. Exactly. But I'm not giving this her a pass. And especially with her, again, if this was somebody that wasn't an activist like she is, as somebody who didn't go around talking about trans issues, talking about pro blackness and stuff like that, then I would give her a pass. If she was a bitch like Candace Owens, then I'd be like, oh yeah, I expect this out of her. But I'm just really offended, like, cause baby, it's it's really not giving what you were presenting for all these years. And then she's saying how like she didn't align with any of those political beliefs. But what woke it up, what woke this up was when she was interviewing with T.S. Madison, and she was kind of comparing Trump and Kamala and pretty much saying that they were the same, pretty much I'm paraphrasing, but said they were like the same two peas in a pod or whatever. And a lot of people are like, well, wait a minute, girl, what are you talking about? One side wants you dead, and the one side is fighting for your rights. So what do you mean they the same? So that's what kind of woke that conversation. Now she's telling us unprovoked that she was in love with a fucking 20-year-old MAGA voter for 4 years with at her big age. Laverne, girl. Anyway, does anybody want to add anything else on this damn idiot before we go to the next story? Okay. Well, our next story, hun, I got two people that we not going to want to talk about, but they're in the news, so let's talk about them anyway. So, Tory Lanez felt it necessary to offer Krishan Rock some spiritual advice from jail. And y'all see, look, I couldn't even keep a straight face saying that.
Oh, okay.
So, y'all see, I have this all hip hop article. Tory Lanez give Krishan Rock spiritual advice from his cell. So Tory Lanez offers spiritual advice and emotional support to Krishan Rock during a phone call from prison as she continues navigating life after her own release from jail. In a video posted to her Instagram stories Tuesday night, Rock shared audio from the call where Lanez encouraged her to lean into her faith and disconnect from the outside noise. And we're just gonna watch a quick clip about that phone call. Oops, sorry.
Krishan Rock gets words of encouragement from Tory Lanez on a jail call.
You until you come and see me. So he's just basically saying like you need to take some time with him, period. And again, I'm not one of them who's gonna sit here and preach to you.
Nah, bro, I appreciate it, Tori. Like this mean a lot, bro. You heard me?
I be seeing what's going on, but it's like, yo, you dealing with a lot, but it's like, yo, it's all gonna be okay, bro,
Right.
and it's all gonna be for the greater good, bro. But you just gotta take that time and be intimate with him, bro. He wants you to actually spend some time with him, spend some time in prayer away from people, spend some time where you just do not worrying about what everybody's talking about. You turn off the phone, spend a couple hours with him just for the next couple of days.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
All that other stuff, you feel me? Not this messy setup stuff, bro. Why everybody making it a trend to like play with me in my face? Clicks, bro. Everybody, bro. You couldn't think of a better idea for me? Why didn't you just let me be on the show, have a fair shot? Like you told me you was gonna have me do. And then that enchilada keep playing victim. What's up with y'all? No, like really.
Okay, anyway, so we have a comment, two dumb bitches telling each other exactly. I guess right. I guess right message, wrong, very wrong messenger. But anyway, Walker was released in early September 2024 after serving roughly 3 months at the Craig County Detention Center in Bonita, Oklahoma. Her arrest in June of 2024 stemmed from felony drug charges and a parole violation tied to a 2022 case. She faced allegations of possessing a controlled substance with intent to distribute and failing to have a tax stamp on the drugs. If convicted, she could have received up to 8 years behind bars. Lane's stupid ass, meanwhile, is serving a 10-year sentence after being convicted of shooting Megan Thee Stallion in 2020. So yeah, just like Hammy says, two dumb bitches telling each other exactly. I mean, I feel like listening to spiritual advice from Tory Lanez is like a straight man listening to me on advice on how to make love to a woman. Like it's just, I mean, you could do it, but why? It's not valuable. You could, but why would you want to?
Why would you even offer that advice? Like, uh,
Yeah. Well, does anybody else want to add anything about these two dumb bitches before we go to the before we go to
no, they couldn't type that comment fast enough. No.
that? I love it.
Ooh,
Well, our next story. Do y'all remember when we were talking about an influencer who I wasn't familiar with, but she was a fitness influencer and she was arrested for pretty much going crazy on her boyfriend. Her name was Steffi Cohen. Well,
yeah,
anyway,
I
fitness
remember
influencer
that.
Steffi Cohen domestic violence case was dropped.
Oh,
Yes. So y'all see here where it says the domestic violence charge famed power lifter Steffi Cohen was dropped on Wednesday, TMZ Sports has learned. Official documents we obtained show prosecutors dismissed the case after the alleged victim declined to cooperate. Officials added there was insufficient evidence to approve the charge beyond a reasonable doubt. Cohen was hit with one count of misdemeanor battery in Miami earlier this month after she allegedly assaulted her boyfriend, Tristan Ham, during a heated dispute on July 1st. It was all formally dropped at a court hearing on Wednesday. In order to prove this crime, the state must show that the defendant actually and intentionally touched or struck the victim against his will. Prosecutor stated in a interoffice memo. The state is unable to satisfy this element without a testifying victim or witness. There are no other known witnesses or evidence to this case. As such, the state does not have a good faith basis upon which to file charges and took no action at the arraignment on July 23rd of this year. And this is her mugshot. So prosecutors also claim Hand repeatedly denied any battery occurring during multiple meetings and that no one was forcing him or threatening him to drop the charges. Ham was served a subpoena for a pre-file conference on July 21st, but he failed to appear. I don't know what it sounds like to y'all. I think there might be some threats, honey, because how you going to I don't know. And let's look at that mug shot, honey. Let's see if we see some asymmetry. Oh, yep. I see, girl, without even zooming in on that photo, I see lots of asymmetry.
He probably just want to be done with her. Don't even, don't bother. Just, just she leave me alone. Go away. I could see him, not wanting to testify. Yeah,
Hmm.
she looks crazy.
Listen, let me knock on wood real quick. But if something happens to this man, y'all know where to look first.
It's funny how they always have that asymmetry. Every picture we look at of somebody doing stupid shit, they all have this.
Hmm. Well, does anybody want to add anything on her before we go to the next story? Baby, this next story is messy, messy, messy. And I knew when didn't I tell y'all it was gonna get messy when it comes to David Geffen and their his ex, their
Oh
ex.
yes, yes.
I told y'all the shit was gonna get messy, and I do. And sure enough, honey, they are proving me right. And let me tell you about what that damn nigga did, Donovan Michaels. Go sit there and try to use the defense that David done targeted him because he's a young black man who wasn't rich, so he used his money to girl, y'all. Look, he didn't sign a prenup, so he taking whatever avenue he can to get to the money, honey. But I have this article from Variety, and y'all see where it says here: drugs, paid sex, and no prenup. David Geffen's divorce drama goes public as Mogul's ex files explosive lawsuit, and that's Donovan Michaels right here, who was alleged because I think when we read about him the last time, it was saying that he was initially straight, so he's pretty much gay for pay, from what we understand. Anyway, the mysterious marriage and subsequent split between David Geffen and model Donovan Michaels has spilled out into the public domain and is getting nasty for sure, honey. On Tuesday morning, Michaels, aka David Armstrong, sued the Hollywood mogul for breach of contract in Los Angeles Superior Court, claiming that the multi-billionaire treated him like a living social experiment, a trophy to show off to his wealthy friends under the guise of benevolence. Y'all read that right. In the 33-page complaint, Michael says the 9-year relationship that culminated in 2 years of marriage mirrored the plotline of Trading Places, with a young, vulnerable black man orphaned as a toddler drawn into the web of an exploiter masquerading as a white knight while hiding behind wealth, philanthropy, and fame. Geffen is 82 years old and worth $9 billion, according to Forbes. Michaels, who was placed in the foster care system at 18 months old, is 32. Today's lawsuit also parallels a Twisted Rags to Riches novel, noting that Michaels did not first encounter Geffen in a boardroom, at a gala, or through mutual friends. The couple met via seekingarrangements.com, a website where men like Geffen shop for the vulnerable, the complaint states. It continues. Geffen learned of Michael's troubled past, his history of neglect, poverty, instability, and legal entanglements. Rather than respond with empathy or offer genuine support, Geffen saw Michaels as an object of exploitation, a young, attractive, and gay black man whose trauma could be weaponized for Geffen's personal gratification and public image. Patricia Glaser, an attorney for Geffen, called the lawsuit pathetic. There was and is no contract, expressed, written, or implied, that has ever existed, she tells Variety. We will be vigorously and righteously defending against this false and pathetic lawsuit. Michael's attorney declined comment. According to the lawsuit, Geffen paid Michaels $10,000 for sex on their first night together in 2016. Over time, the paid sexual relationship evolved into a partnership. Geffen told Michaels he loved him and the two would treat one another as life partners, share all assets equally, and Geffen would support Michaels financially for life, the complaint says. Michael gave up his dreams, his modeling career, his independence to dedicate himself fully to this promise. Girl. In 2023, Geffen and Michaels married without a prenup, the complaint notes. This reinforced Michaels' belief that the relationship was genuine and enduring, it says. What Michaels did not know at the time was that this was nothing more than a transaction for Geffen. The lawsuit likely follows private discussions between the couple who split in April. Geffen, a titan in the industry who co-founded DreamWorks with Steven Spielberg and Jeffrey Katzenberg alongside his significant music assets, is represented by divorce attorney Laura Wasser. Michaels is working with Samantha Spector. In the case of Deja Vu, Wasser and Spector are once again squaring off, as they have done previously in a number of headline grabbing divorces, including Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and Dr. Dre and Nicole Young. But it was litigator Brian Friedman who has worked with Spector on various divorce cases to help untangle intellectual property assets who filed today's complaints. Friedman is representing a number of high profile cases in the news at the moment. This week, his clients, the creator of South Park, reached a $1.5 billion deal with Paramount. He's also representing Justin Baldoni in the director's sprawling legal battle with Blake Lively. And Friedman is working in conjunction with Mark Garagos to secure the release of Lyle and Eric Menendez. Garagos represents the brothers, while Friedman's clients includes 27 family members who are calling for Lyle and Eric's release. The lawsuit offers Michael's side of the May December union and briefly references abuse perpetuated by Geffen as well as the billionaire's proclivities. Sources say Michael's lawyers held back on some of the more salacious allegations out of respect for Geffen. Still, there is plenty of behind the scenes details, like Geffen allegedly forcing Michaels to have all of his body hair removed. Geffen also found additional ways to satisfy his unquestionable thirst for control over Michaels, with backhanded insults and put down about Michaels' past and lack of sophistication. Geffen cultivated Michaels' insecurity and self doubt. The lawsuit says Geffen critiqued every aspect of Michaels' appearance and carefully controlled Michaels with respect to all aspects of his body hygiene. Geffen required Michaels to submit to extensive, painful laser treatments and dental treatments. Even the existence of an ingrown hair was enough to raise Geffen's ire and trigger a flurry of instructions to correct the imperfection. The lawsuit also offers a sharp rebuttal of the image Geffen has cultivated as a philanthropist whose name appears on hospital wings and in halls of art museums across the country. Michael's complaints Michael's complaint leans into the power dynamic chasm between the two men. As Geffen was hosting his A-list friends on his super yacht, Rising Sun, last month on the eve of the Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez wedding, he demanded that Michaels immediately vacate the New York residence, which would effectively render Michael homeless, the complaint states. At the very same time, Geffen was decadently, sorry, that word just kicked my ass, and extravagantly partying and dancing the night away in Venice, Italy, with other of the 1% of wealthiest people on the planet. In addition to evicting Michaels, Geffen also cut him off from his status quo financial support, making it impossible for Michaels to secure an appropriate living situation and provide for his daily necessities. While Geffen himself holds out to the public as an extraordinarily charitable man whose foundation gives millions and millions of dollars to advocacy and support groups for the homeless and disadvantaged populations, he is simultaneously endeavoring to render Michaels impoverished and homeless. Some of the action in the complaint takes place on the 454-foot super yacht, which has hosted a who's who's of celebrity over the years. Geffen made a variety of illicit drugs available to Michaels, even on his super yacht, including cocaine, Molly, and cannabis, the complaint says. Michael was expected to use drugs along with Geffen and his friends, who occasionally enjoy using hard drugs as a group on the super yacht, and he did his best to keep up with Geffen's fast lifestyle. However, Michael's traumatic past was an emotional ticking time. Michael's drug use took a toll. He developed substance abuse and landed in treatment. The complaint says Geffen has tried to bully and tighten his control over Michaels and refused to engage in any further negotiation unless Michaels agreed to terminate his lawyers and deal directly with Geffen and his handpicked team of lawyers. It adds, afraid, isolated, and without meaningful care or support, Michaels was left with no choice but to file this action. Little had been known about how Geffen and Michael's relationship began, and Tuesday's complaint fills in some of the blanks, including how the pair first quickly connected after Michaels posted a profile on seekingarrangements.com. According to the company's website, it is the most successful luxury dating website in the world, surpassing 52 million members in over 146 countries. and it stands at the forefront of sophisticated matchmaking where accomplished individuals can make exceptional connections and find hypergamy. Okay. So I know that was a lot that we just went over, but baby, really, nigga? Really? Let me read some of these comments. He chose poppers over prenup, oh, and not the jalapeno kind. We say, "Oh girl," and then who's writing the script for the gay version of Get Out, and then another nigga notch on his belt. I mean, exactly, and it's kind of like, okay, as much as I would, I hear you, and the last thing we want to do is victim blame here on this show. But boo, you knew what you was getting into. First of all, you made a profile on seekingarrangements.com because you were seeking an arrangement. You were seeking a specific kind of arrangement. That once you got that arrangement and you had to do what you had to do to keep that arrangement, now you want to be like, oh well, he he used my past against me. Now using all these drugs with him and his friends is triggering my past, past trauma. And boy, but listen, he ain't signed no prenup, so he trying to do whatever he can, honey. I know he's sick. He's sick. He not married to that damn billionaire no more. I know he is livid, honey. But yeah, that's that on that. Does anybody want to add anything before we go to the next story? Well, our next story, so this one is for the Bravo fans. Rachel Zoe, honey. Rachel Zoe and her husband, Roger, are divorcing. And in this, she's actually seeking custody of the kids, or joint custody, rather. My bad. So I have this People article. Y'all see where it says Rachel Zoe seeks joint custody of her two children amid divorce from husband Roger Berman. And this is them right there. So if y'all don't know who Rachel Zoe is, long story short, she's that bitch. Celebrity stylist, the famous, and she has a lot of work under her belt. She's that girl. Anyway, Rachel Zoe is seeking joint custody of her two children after filing for divorce from her husband Roger Berman. The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star, 53, shares two sons with the entrepreneur, Skylar, and is that Caius? Yeah, I'm sure I said that wrong. In court documents filed in Los Angeles on Monday, July 21st, and obtained by People, Zoe is requesting joint legal and physical custody of the former couple's minor children while asking for her and Berman to both have visitation rights. There was no mention of child support. Zoe and Berman announced a mutual decision to end their marriage in September of 2024. And at the time, they stated that they would continue to co parent their children together. We are incredibly proud of the loving family we have created and our countless memories together, a joint statement shared by Berman and Zoe on Instagram read. Our number one priority has been and will always be our children. We are committed to co parent our boys and to continue to work together within the many businesses we share, it continued. Their date of separation is listed as June 27th of 2024 in the court docs filed on Monday. Irreconcilable differences was cited as the reason for their split after 26 years and 4 months of marriage, and they wed on February 15th of 1998. There seems to be a lot of irreconcilable differences going around because that seems to be the cause of everybody's divorce these days. Anyway, additionally, the stylist asked for her name to be restored from Rachel Zoe Berman to Rachel Zoe. Skylar and Caius are each other's best friends, and Zoe previously told People in 2021 that the siblings grew closer while being homeschooled. As for her relationship with Berman, the pair celebrated their 31st anniversary in 2022 with a sweet online tribute. And I don't think we need to really read much about that because it's over now. So, yeah, that's that on that. Everybody and their mama is getting divorced, and is I think there's going to be a lot of money on the line, so I'm hoping that there is a prenup. Because if not, mark my words, this is going to get messy, just like that David Geffen and that Donovan Michaels situation.
Yeah, but after 30 years, I mean, is a prenup even still in effect at that point? I thought prenups basically covered the first few years of marriage, just in case. But
Oh,
they've been married a long time.
since the
So
90s.
yeah,
And y'all can't reconcile your differences after all that time, honey. That lets me know that it's something done happen, child. Well, you know what? I'm here for all the women, honey. Getting out and feeling like they don't need a husband. I'm here because society will shun them quickly. Oh, why aren't you married? Why aren't you this? I'm here for it. Single, let's be single, damn it. Well, does anybody want to add anything before we go to the next story? Okay, so our next story. So I'm sure y'all are familiar with Benedict Cumberbatch, who famously plays Doctor Strange
yep.
in the Marvel movies. Well, honey, he has called us Americans fat, and he said we're fat and we are a bad influence on him. I was like, oh no, he didn't read, but I mean, he kind of right, but hey. So y'all see, I have this Variety article. Benedict Cumberbatch ate 5 meals a day to play Doctor Strange. Says Hollywood is grossly wasteful. It's horrific eating beyond your appetite. Sorry. Okay. It's horrific eating beyond your appetite, and I could feed a family with the amount I ate. So Benedict Cumberbatch called Hollywood a grossly wasteful industry during an interview on Ruthie's Table 4 podcast. The Oscar nominee is no stranger to massive studio productions, given his role as Doctor Strange in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. While Cumberbatch loves undergoing a body transformation for his work, he also says it's horrific eating beyond your appetite. Going back to responsibility and resourcefulness and sustainability is just like, what am I doing? I could feed a family with the amount I'm eating. Cumberbatch said, noting he would eat 5 meals a day while getting into Doctor Strange shape, in addition to snacks like boiled eggs, almonds, and cheese in between meals. It's a grossly wasteful industry, he continued. Think about set bills that aren't recycled. Think about transport, think about food, think about housing, but also light and energy. The amount of wattage you need to create daylight and consistent light in a studio environment, it's a lot of energy. Cumberbatch admitted that actors are routinely slammed and branded as hypocrites when they speak out in support of sustainability in Hollywood, given how wasteful the industry is. But the actor noted that he tries to push the green initiative on his film sets as both an actor and a producer. You don't have to give the crew plastic bottles, he said, as an example. If you're in the Middle East of a desert and you can't get a glass bottle there, fair enough. But we're in the 21st century, and it talks about how he's on this press tour for his new movie that ain't nobody gonna watch, so I don't even need to read that part. But yeah, he said, "Bitch, y'all, y'all are a bad influence. Y'all are making me fat. This is grossly wasteful, and I can't believe this shit. And we need to go green."
But he was doing it. He was eating it. What the? I mean, what are we supposed? What are we supposed to
Exactly.
believe here? Like what?
What you can believe, honey, and this is coming from the mouth of an actor, because anytime I was doing some background work, honey, what was I always talking about that I was excited about doing?
The
Eating some of their
food.
craft services. Exactly. So, and honey, and that food be so damn good, and you can get as much as you want. Like, so I don't. If I was in his position, I would be eating the same thing too, and probably speaking out. Oh, we need to go green. We need to like start using some recyclable water bottles on set and stuff like that, while
As
eating all them craft services.
as you munch. This food is
Say
so wasteful. Mwah, 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 mwah.
hello. So wasteful is so good. I could feed you about the whole family of five on this. Mm. And we have a comment calling him butternut crinkle freeze.
I don't know what the hell that means, but okay.
Well, does anybody want to add anything about butternut crinkle freeze before we go to the next story?
That is crazy.
Child, this next story is a hot mess, y'all. I mean, a hot mess. So I have this all hip hop article. So y'all know that famous YSL case, honey. With Young Thug, where they tried to do that RICO against Young Thug and all that. Well, how about one of the
Hmm.
motherfucking lawyers? Y'all see where it says here YSL lawyer indicted for participating in street gangs, trafficking meth, and more. And when
What?
y'all see the lawyer, y'all gonna be like, bitch, what?
Huh?
Yes, that little skinny white girl was doing all of this, honey, allegedly.
Oh no.
So Nicole Fagan, yes, girl, Nicole Fagan, an Atlanta criminal defense attorney who represented a YSL defendant in the high-profile gang and racketeering case, was indicted Monday, July 21st, in Fulton County on charges including drug trafficking and gang activity tied to her conduct during the trial. Prosecutors allege Fagan used her role as legal counsel to aid criminal operations, including smuggling methamphetamine, oxycodone, and marijuana to her incarcerated client, Tinquarius Mender, who is also charged in the indictment. Fagan is also accused of working with one of Mender's associates to deliver drugs and allegedly gave Mender Apple AirPods while he was in custody. The indictment, announced on July 21st, claims Fagan tipped off a fugitive about key evidence, encouraged a gang member to destroy a phone, and destroy a phone and tried to obstruct a separate murder investigation by instructing a suspect to get rid of his cell phone. Fagan, who founded Fagan Law LLC, was arrested in February of 2024 in connection with the fatal shooting case and released on a $40,000 bond. So, the charges stem from indictments that allegedly occurred more than 2 years ago during the YSL trial, which centered on rapper Young Thug. Her high powered attorney, Drew Findling, issued a strong response to the indictment. This indictment is a travesty. Nicole Fagan is a fierce trial attorney and well respected among her peers. These charges stem from activities alleged to have occurred 2.5 years ago during the YSL trial, for which Ms. Fagan was a zealous advocate for her client, no more. We look forward to fighting these false allegations, Finley said in a statement. So, and this is her right here. This is Nicole Fagan, and this is from her Instagram page. And you see how she put a play on that meme, like when opposing counsel whips out a video surveillance of your client, and you try to act like you can't tell who it is. And she and she did a play on that meme right there.
Yeah, right. Oh my
But
god.
Fagan has had no prior disciplinary record with the State Bar of Georgia and remains in good standing as of July of 2025. The list of charges against Fagan include trafficking methamphetamine, possession of a Schedule II drug with intent to distribute, possession of marijuana under 1 ounce, participation in criminal street gang activity, violating Georgia Street Gang Terrorism and Prevention Act, and criminal solicitation to tamper with evidence. So Nicole, girl, you know better. You know better. But she said, "Look, I'm here to help my clients by any means necessary."
And now look at you. You need a lawyer. Get out of here.
So, child, that's that on that, girl. Yes, get out of here. But you know what I think this is going to do? Because if this is, I think like her street cred, it's going look. All the niggas gonna be calling her moving forward.
And
She
why
gonna
the
be the
hell?
niggas' favorite lawyer.
Right, right. Cause she get down.
Ooh,
Okay.
child.
Hey Marcia.
Hey, my Jamaican queen. Well, I got three more stories left. Does anybody want to add anything on this one before we go to the next one?
Child, no.
Well, our next story, I should call her a friend of the show because she blocked me for talking about her, but she's actually since unblocked me because she tried to unblock me to try to read me. Then I read her back, but I don't know if y'all remember that what did this happen last month? But Baby Tate,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Hmm.
so Baby Tate is under fire for talking about Medea movies. Now, me personally, before I even start reading this story, I just think this is nothing more than another attempt at Tyler Perry to try to like clean up his image, especially after those allegations came out. But hey, let's talk about it. So, Baby Tate comes under fire for admitting she doesn't watch Medea. Baby Tate was coming under fire on social media Tuesday after admitting she wasn't a fan of Tyler Perry's character Medea. She did so on Twitter after a fan asked if she had been watching the films recently. Fuck no. She responded to the question. I support black media, but I draw the line at Medea, Tate wrote. From there, she went back and forth with several users on the platform. Nothing to fill in. I just don't like Medea. It's honestly not that deep, she further explained. As the backlash continued to mount, Baby Tate wrote, Me, I fuck with breakfast, but I don't like pancakes. Y'all, fill me in because I don't see the issue with pancakes. Oh, but you don't see nothing wrong with French toast or waffles? Shaking my head. I hate when y'all try to play who has the better diet based off of consumed food. In one more post, she wrote, Nobody can judge me but me. I was born free, quoting the iconic Beyonce. Anyway, Tyler Perry has been playing the character of Medea for decades at this point, originally beginning with the stage play I Could Do Bad All by Myself. The character made her film debut with the 2005 movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman. She's also appeared in Medea's Family Reunion, Medea Goes to Jail, Medea's Big Happy Family, and many more projects across film, television, and the theater. Perry has been in the midst of a huge year after accepting the Ultimate Icon Award at the BET Awards back in June. After that achievement, he filed a proposal with the state of Georgia to expand his movie studios on another 38 acres of land, and that was once the old army base. The project will have a variety of building uses, including office space, retail space, theater, and associated parking. The proposal said, according to WSB-TV. The land is currently on the National Register of Historic Places. So this is why I said that was an attempt to clean up childhood. Because first of all, why the fuck we need to know about an Ultimate Icon Award that was given to him last year in June? First of all, and then they want to talk about that project that happened last year about him sitting there expanding that with the 38. Anyway, but yeah, I can't believe she got backlash though. Because this is a screenshot of the tweets. I support black media, but I draw the line in Medea. And I guess somebody wrote like, I mean, what else were you implying by saying that? And she said that I don't fucking watch Medea. Like what? So I guess she just don't like the Medea character, and there's nothing more than that. I don't like it. Good for her. Stand in your truth, girl. And we have a comment going, really? Yes, girl, really. She blocked me for talking about that boyfriend who I asked was he homeless. But we're unblocked now, so we're good. And congrats because I hear she's pregnant now, so congrats to her and to her new addition to her family. And they probably put the crib in his trunk. And well, let me stop before she blocked me again. Anyway, does anybody want to add anything on her before we go to the next story? Okay, well, y'all, our next story. Are y'all familiar with that that R&B girl group out of London, out of the UK that goes by Flo?
Yep.
Okay, so I find myself like liking them. I watch like clips on YouTube of them performing. I think they blend well. They sound great together. But what they don't do well is pay their stylists, allegedly. Allegedly. So one of their stylists is actually coming out, and she's talking, honey. And I have her tweet right here, and her name is Lee Trigg. So let's let that come up. Y'all know Twitter slow as hell ever since Elon done took over. Okay. So somebody tweeted like tweeted their looks and said no shade, but I miss Lee Trigg bag. Because somebody said the stylist got them dressed like Bridgerton hookers, what they've been looking like recently. So when she said that when one of the fans said I miss Lee Trigg bag, Georgia from the group commented, I don't. So Lee took a screenshot of this and said, sad, this is the only response I've gotten in almost a year of chasing them and their team over 50 pounds, excuse me, over 50,000 pounds in unpaid fees, expenses, late fees. Please reply to my lawyers. Mm-mm. So of course, in the fans and stuff, the fans are coming at her like, why would you bring this here? Like this tweet here. Why are you begging them to reply to your lawyers? The point of hiring a lawyer is so legal action can be taken if they haven't replied, especially for over 50K. She says the billable hours with my lawyers are getting too high for me to pay, so I can't afford them to keep chasing. They've been working on the case and trying to get a response, reach settlement since May. So yeah. Do these girls even have the money to I don't think they have, but baby. She's just gonna have to. I don't know how they do stuff over in the UK, but she gonna have to. I don't know, girl. Maybe put a lien on their music. I don't know. Shit. How she gonna get that money if they ain't got it? So, well, that's that on that, honey. Does anybody want to add anything before we go to our last story? Well, our last story. Thank you, Chill, for bringing this story to my attention. This is one of those things that I love to see, and it's been a long time coming. Cause that child, Candace Owens, honey, I really don't even like saying her name, but we can talk about her today because she's getting what's coming to her, getting what's owed to her. So Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron sues far-right podcaster Candace Owens over false claims that the French president's wife is a man. French President Emmanuel Macron, and I'm sharing this story by way of AOL, by the way, that tells it by way of the Independent. So French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte Macron have filed a defamation lawsuit against Candace Owens over the far-right influencer's relentless and unjustified smear campaign, falsely accusing Brigitte of being born a man. The 219-page defamation complaint filed in Delaware State Court Wednesday accuses Owens of proliferating demonstratively false claims across her platforms, including in an 8-part episode on social media designed to feed a frenzied fan base in pursuit of fame. These lies have caused tremendous damage to the Macrons, according to the Macrons lawsuit, which names Owens as well as her business entities, which are incorporated in Delaware. The false claims have subjected the Macrons to a campaign of global humiliation, turning their lives into fodder for profit driven lies, the complaint says. Owens has dissected their appearance, their marriage, their friends, their family, and their personal history, twisting it all into a grotesque narrative designed to inflame and degrade, the complaint alleges. The result is relentless bullying on a worldwide scale. Every time the Macrons leave their home, they do so knowing that countless people have heard and many believe these vile fabrications. It is invasive, dehumanizing, and deeply unjust. And this is the woman Candace said is a man. So the 22-count complaint filed in Superior Court seeks damages against Owens and her companies, including punitive damages. The Independent has requested comment from a representative for Owens, who is expected to respond to the allegations on Wednesday's podcast. Brigitte Macron previously awarded £6,750, which is equivalent to $9,149, in damages last year after two other far right influencers falsely accused her of being a transgender woman. In that case, Amandine Roy and Natasha Ray were ordered to pay damages to France's First Lady as well as her brother Jean-Michel Trogneau after the women amplified bogus claims that Brigitte Macron had never existed and that her brother had changed gender and assumed that identity. For years, baseless conspiracy theories have proliferated across social media, accusing prominent women, from former First Lady Michelle Obama to Taylor Swift, of secretly being transgender, so called transvestigations that tread anti trans rhetoric into a web of far right conspiracy theories. The Macron's lengthy complaint in Delaware connects the case to Owens's long history of far-right conspiracy theories, including debunked anti-Semitic tropes and attempts to minimize the Holocaust, to her attacks against the French First Lady, which Owens has monetized on her YouTube channel, garnering millions of views. The episodic nature of her Becoming Brigitte series resembles serialized true crime investigations, lending themselves to remixes across other platforms like TikTok, where Owens claims have racked of tens of millions of views. Owens published a series and related X posts with reckless disregard for the truth, according to the Macrons, who are represented by attorneys with the firms Farnan LLP and Claire Locke LLP. Owens was repeatedly presented with credible, verifiable evidence disproving her claims, including documentation, public records, and direct outreach from the Macrons, the lawsuit states. Instead of correcting the record, she doubled down. Owens, fully aware of the truth, has not only declined to retract her statements, but has actively expanded on them. She has built a brand on provocation, not truth, the complaint alleges. They got that part right. Her content is not intended to inform, but to inflame and attract attention through sensationalism and conspiracy theories, it claims. And yeah, So I hope they get whatever they suing the bitch for. I hope they get every penny. Shit, get her dog too. Get everybody in the damn thing. I get that bitch. I can't stand fucking Candace Owens and her split ends. Fuck her.
I mean, didn't she see that other people have already lost lawsuits claiming this? Like, what's wrong with her?
Hmm.
Stupid.
Stupid as hell. Boy, I was it was it last year when she tried to like go around the media on black media and fuck Breakfast Club for even putting this bitch on their platform. I get why they did it, but no, y'all not this bitch. But she said you could tell that this girl is so far removed from black culture, honey, that she did not know what to say. You know, they was in the Breakfast Club and they was like, God is good. I think any black person who was raised in whatever denomination of church, but if you was raised, you know what to say after that statement. And the fact that she didn't lets me know that the bitch is far removed from black culture and she was playing in our faces, honey. The shit that she said about black men in the past to me is unforgivable. So fuck her. So we have a comment, not the dog. Yes, get the dog too, honey. Get everything. Get her necklace. Get her fake nails. All of it. Make her get the scissors because clearly she's not using them because she still got them nasty looking split ends. So get it all. Well, y'all, that was all the tea that I had for us today. So before we head out and before I go and watch my stories, did any of you have any tea that you want to share? Any tea that I might have missed? All right, y'all. Well, it is always a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and sip tea with me. We will be back tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time if you can make the live show. In the meantime, I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your day.
Bye, everybody.